CBS that Donald Trump will be in the stands at Truist Park this Saturday. Some experts believe the decision is about more than just baseball.
He's doing this as part of his overall campaign to raise money and to keep himself in the public eye.
Earlier this year, the former president was a prominent voice in backlash after the MLB pulled the All-Star game from Atlanta in protest of what they claimed were new restrictive voting laws. They leave Atlanta with their All-Star game because they're afraid of the radical left Democrats, and Trump boycott baseball and all the woke companies that are interfering with free and fair elections. The last time Donald Trump attended a World Series game in 2019 when the Astros played the Nationals in Washington. Game 4 would make his first appearance since in a state where the Republican Party is looking to regain control.
It depends on how he's received. This could be just fine, or it could be 2019 all over again.
Now, right now, Trump could be attending this game with Governor Brian Kemp. Herschel Walker have been thrown out there. But right now, again, nothing official coming down from the former president. For now, we're live in downtown Atlanta. Alan Devlin, CBS 46 News.
In a tweet, the governor said, quote, while Stacey Abrams and the MLB stole the All-Star game from hardworking Georgians, the Braves earned their trip to the World Series this season and are bringing it home to Georgia. A spokesperson for Stacey Abrams issued a response to the governor saying, quote, as Braves fans across the country were celebrating, Brian Kemp swung and missed again with his bizarre deflection of blame for the harm to Georgians resulting from a bill that he signed.
All their hair off. Across the street at the Battery, the manager of the apparel store Baseballism says compared to last year in the middle of the pandemic, profits have shot up nearly 400%.
Now the World Series is here, so you have people wanting to go to the World Series just in general. You have Braves fans that now the Braves are in the World Series, so they're of course buying tickets. And then you have the people that just wanted to go to Atlanta that missed out on the All-Star game.
Earlier this year, local businesses missed out when Major League Baseball moved the All-Star game out of Georgia in protest over the controversial new voting law. It's not clear exactly how much of an impact there was.
Certainly the World Series will replace the All-Star game. There's no question about that. Any losses that were sustained will be more than replaced.
Georgia State University economics professor Dr. Bruce Seaman estimates that every game played at Truist will pump roughly $8 million into the local economy, $24 million if 3 games are played. But he says in the grand scheme of things, it's really just a drop in the bucket.
There's going to be an economic impact, but anybody who thinks it's going to be a huge economic impact, either in total dollars or a percentage of the relevant economy, certainly are going to be disappointed.
Now, the majority of the economic activity will be felt down here at the Battery, but all of the Atlanta metro area could see a boost thanks to people coming from all over the country to see the World Series. At last check on StubHub, tickets were going for about $1,000. At Truist Park, Rob DiRienzo, Fox 5 News.
The Braves are now
going all the way back. Isn't that remarkable? I mean, that's just really something.
It's memorabilia that brings her right back to 1995. She says this is a year she's been waiting for. A chance to see her team go all the way one more time.
Oh, I just thank God that I have lived to see this. It's just really going to be remarkable for me. It's something that I won't forget.
Within an encrypted network and accessible only through specialized anonymity providing tools. In addition to money, investigators also recovered a slew of illegal drugs and guns. The investigation is ongoing, and investigators are still working to identify other individuals behind darknet accounts. The suspect
be facing an uphill battle in Virginia.
It's also a race that has a long history of breaking against the White House party. So there's this long-standing trend in American politics that not always, but often, that the president's party sort of struggles in off-year elections.
Terry McAuliffe's candidacy could be marred by a lack of enthusiasm from Democrats, especially in the wake of lagging poll numbers for President Biden.
Virginia voters and Democrats all over the country were very engaged during the Trump years, but Trump's not in the White House anymore. He's still an ever-present figure in American life, but he's not president, and so maybe he doesn't pack the sort of motivational punch that he did when he was in the White House.
For Glenn Youngkin, however, the challenge is maintaining the loyalty of Trump's supporters while extending his message to moderates and independents. Unlike McAuliffe, Youngkin is keen not to nationalize the race, making local education the focus. Meanwhile, early voting has also begun in the New Jersey governor's race, where Republican Jack Ciattarelli is putting incumbent Phil Murphy's liberal policies to the test.
Pivoting now to the pandemic. Kid-sized doses of Pfizer's COVID-19 vaccine may be getting close.
Money to spend. Your deposits, payments, bank balance. Under Pelosi's plan, the government monitors them. Call Carolyn Bordeaux. Tell her to stop Pelosi's spending spree.
Only a handful of people are taking advantage of the early voting. I don't know how many people have come here to vote at this particular location, but I mean, I saw 6 or 7 people back there at the door. They're inside now.
The less value that money has. Nancy Pelosi should be ashamed. Increases in taxes, increases in spending, trying to spend more than $3 trillion on her socialist agenda. It'd be devastating for seniors like me.
Campaign had already created video messages, which played on a truck adjacent to an event where Reid and some of his supporters denounced Felicia Moore's Instagram post.
For more than 40 years now, and during that time, we have never had a mayor that has a conscience.
The post, which we recorded moments before Moore's campaign took it down, shows Moore with a man identified as Lee Clavenger. His social media posts are pro-Trump and anti-Obama. In the video with Moore, he said all Atlanta mayors since 1979 were
not interested in anything except running their own pockets.
Seconds later, Moore accepted his endorsement.
Lee Clevenger stood next to Felicia Moore and in front of her said that every mayor who happens to be black was corrupt.
Reid says the statement smeared Atlanta mayors that included Maynard Jackson and Andrew Young, who never faced corruption charges.
And if I was standing by somebody while they were saying it, I would have corrected them.
Through a spokeswoman, Moore told us it was an unfortunate statement by that constituent, and I should have corrected him or walked away. As everyone in Atlanta knows, I certainly do not share his beliefs about most of our past mayors, nor those he shared on social media. I apologize to anyone hurt by that post.
That was published said that there have been more police officers in this last year that have died from COVID-19 that actually were killed in the line of duty.
Our officers still have cleaning supplies and face masks. Currently, the contract to have the cars washed at a location in the city has expired, and we are still working with the city to obtain a new contract.
Will there be action under the current administration, or will it fall to the next mayor to handle something that you would think would be uncomplicated? Police Officers Union is publicly backing a former mayor, Kasim Reed, for the job. I asked all the top candidates about the filthy Atlanta police cars. I got a response from Sharon Gay. This is a problem for officers who either have to pay personally for cleaning the patrol cars or patrol in unclean cars with dirty back seats quite often occupied by people under arrest. This issue is emblematic of our poorly functioning city government. Correcting that will be an early and continuing emphasis of my administration if I am elected mayor. I'm Morris Diggs, Fox 5.
Just because Kasim Reed has the backing of the Atlanta Police Department doesn't mean he's going to be the one getting elected. People know how much corruption there was in Kasim Reed's administration. So you tell me. I mean, there's comments made about some guy who said all the past mayors have had corruption in their administrations. Maynard Jackson, all that. Well, we didn't have the internet then, did we? People didn't find out about it so quickly. And then, if it wasn't discovered, and they got away with it.
Derna meantime, is preparing to seek authorization for its vaccine for 6 to 11-year-olds. In Washington, Doug Luzader for Good Day Atlanta.
Pursuing new avenues of ministerial dialogue, investing in our countries and driving inclusive prosperity in this critical region.
It may not seem like it to many of us.
WikiLeaks publication of secret military documents about a decade ago. A district judge denied extradition on health grounds, saying Assange was likely to kill himself if held under harsh U.S. prison conditions. But she rejected defense arguments that Assange faces a politically motivated American prosecution that would override free speech protections, and she said that the U.S. judicial system would give him a fair trial. Lawyers for U.S. authorities have been granted a permission to appeal. The outgoing United
Money to spend. Your deposits, payments, bank balance. Under Pelosi's plan, the government monitors them. Call Carolyn Bordeaux. Tell her to stop Pelosi's spending spree.
This I don't understand. Colombian coffee, $10. Everything else is $6.42. This is on private property, 1050 Ponce Leon Avenue. They need to come and get it today.
is available to the general population and only if the results are favorable. Researchers hope one day their work will pave the way for vaccines to prevent all forms of breast cancer. Planters has a new health trend that you need to know.
Move over, kale. Kelp is the latest food trend. Not only is it packed with vitamin B and calcium, but it's also great for the environment. It requires no fertilizer to grow and helps keep water clean by removing nutrients that cause algae blooms. Microgreens are also a trend to be on the lookout for. These multicolored baby counterparts of plants like carrots and broccoli can have 4 to 40 times the nutrients of their mature counterparts. And you heard of probiotics, but what about postbiotics? They are essentially the waste products of probiotics. Postbiotics are being looked into for anti-inflammatory and antioxidant benefits and the ability to boost the immune system. Postbiotics can be found in kefir, sauerkraut, sourdough bread, and kimchi. A new buzzword for those trying to give up their nightly cocktail: mocktails with adaptogens. Adaptogens are calming herbal pharmaceuticals that counteract the effects of stress in the body. They naturally help you unwind at the end of a hard day. Cheers. I'm Nancy Alvarez reporting.
And we're told that all the necessary paperwork for adoption has been started and that the City Council will formally vote for retirement for Yuri on November 1st. In Forest Park, Deidre Dukes, Fox 5 News.
He was injured and later died at the hospital. A 68-year-old woman in her car was injured in the gunfight, and an officer was also hurt. The only other death was 49-year-old Roberto Padilla Agueras. A pro agency adds it is looking at everything. Rail experts have said the crash could have been caused by problems with the track, such as a rail that buckled under high heat, or the track itself giving way when the train passed over. One crew member did report seeing a dip in the rail. 9 points, also less than 0.1%, to 15,235, and the S&P 500 rose 8 points, or 0.2%, to a high of 4,574.